Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Business Blueprint. I'm your host, Sergio Davids. I'm joined by Kenny Simon, a senior trading strategist at CMTrading. How are you doing today, Kenny?
Very well, thank you, Sergio. How about yourself?
Awesome. Ah, yeah, can't complain. It's been
Oh,
awesome
good.
spring so far.
Oh dear. All right. Here it's yeah, got storms and thunderstorms and rains and bits and pieces here and there. Yeah, a bit
Yeah,
unpredictable as
so
well in Cyprus. Yeah.
awesome. So today I
Okay.
thought we'd talk about a couple of things. I
Sure.
want to pick your brain about the why gold is,
Of
surging,
course.
US dollar
Mm-hmm.
weakness. We've
Yes.
got two big earners this week. We've got Dell
Yeah.
Technologies and Hewlett Packard this week. And
Yes.
then, if there's time, let's discuss Bitcoin.
Of course.
Cool. So that's our agenda. So let's start with the price of
Brilliant.
gold. It's, just past, $2,000 about a week
That's
ago, and
right.
now it's 2010. What's going on,
Mm.
man? What's pushing gold?
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and it's usually correlated or linked with what's going on in the states, especially
Right.
with its current economical situation, together with its
Yeah.
political slash economic situation, also dollar's position and value. So, one of the most popular, or I would say hot news that have just popped up as of last week is the subject of de-dollarization. And that basically means that there's been an increasing disinterest in the dollar or conducting
Okay.
and transacting in various products and services, not using the dollar anymore. So there was this very big transaction that happened between China. They call it currency swaps. So they've done a
Right.
currency swap as of last week, which was worth about 7 billion. And there were so many other countries as well that have actually gone into this trend of de-dollarizing, meaning that they're actually using their local currency instead to conduct transactions and currency swaps, as opposed to the traditional way of doing the international transfers using the dollar in the past.
Right.
So that is looking like it's going to be a big and bigger news in the future, because it would then impact the dollar quite a bit. So
That's
if it
quite
is
interesting.
impacting the dollar, yeah, to the downside, whereby you've got decreasing demand of the dollar, so that basically means the supplies are there, but the demand has decreased, that would then reduce the value of the dollar. Then if that reduction of the dollar um, would actually happen, then it might also be feeding to the negative correlation between the dollar and the gold, where gold would then be looking at the upside or bullishness to be expected. So
Yeah,
that's been going on.
I think we spoke about this in I think it was our previous podcast, where normally when you have a situation of, dollar weakness, you get,
Yes.
the price of gold increases, but that normally, is tied to economical, you know,
Oh,
issues.
yes.
So now
That's
we have
right.
an issue where the Fed has,
Yes.
sort of frozen interest rate hikes. Not that there will be, but
Mm.
that was pretty good news. I would
Yes.
assume for the dollar. So then, why then
That's
in
right.
that case, do we
Yeah.
still see dollar weakness and gold being pushed up?
Yeah, it's mainly because of the de-dollarization aspects, but
De-dollarization.
yes, the value of it going down. Basically, it also means that the international partners are reducing buying even bonds from the states. So that does then impact, the value of the dollar because of the holdings. They're reducing their holdings of treasuries, bond stocks, and also the physical dollar as well. So when you've got
Right.
a reduction in interest from all over the world, then that would then keep your dollar sort of like a surplus, and then there's
Right.
nobody buying it, and that would then
That will drop the
um,
value.
reduce. Yes, and I want to point out that what you've just also said is also because of the safe haven side of things,
Yeah.
whereby gold has always seen as a safe haven. Together with the dollar as well, but the dollar's safe haven capabilities has sort of dropped because of the de-dollarization factor. You see, so because of the lack of confidence in holding the dollar, and there's more transactions outside of the world using their own currencies, that does actually then impact investors' confidence in holding the dollar or buying the dollar. So if they don't
Okay.
have the confidence in buying the dollar, then they would then transfer their assets to safe havens instead. So the safe havens are gold, of course. Now, in the currency basket, the safe havens are the JPY, or the Japanese yen, as well as the
Right.
CHF, which is the Swiss franc. And we're seeing that that's increasing at the moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've got
Okay.
two big stocks this week. We've
Very
got,
nice. Yes. Mhm.
as I mentioned, we've got Dell on,
Yes.
November 30th, and we've got Hewlett Packard on November 28th. So
That's right.
I think we'll start with Dell. I mean, Dell is one of these companies that just been, sort of booming in the last couple of years. I mean, last year they managed to meet every
Yes.
one of their earnings estimates. And
Mhm.
earlier this year, it was incredible. Their stocks surged by about 30% in 1 month. I think that was about in
Oh,
August.
that's
And
amazing.
it's all due to strong demand in PC and laptop sales, and of course
Yes.
their partnership with Nvidia. Another one of
Yes.
those massive companies, $1.2 trillion in value.
You're right. Absolutely.
So, once again, Dell, um, you know, on paper seems like a good stock.
Mhm.
Is that going to translate come earnings?
Yes, I think it's been boosted by today as well, the interest in buying it, because it's Cyber Monday. And
Oh, right,
Cyber
right.
Monday, Cyber Monday does actually put Dell on top of the list of having loads and loads of offers.
Yeah.
But talking about its value, its stock's value is still of value of grade A. So that, as what we've actually talked about as well, of various factors that is just giving it more undervalued stock prices, that does give it a lot more room for investors to actually consider what are the high ends of that stock value as well.
Right.
And also we've got um, quite a number of analysts in Wall Street have actually predicted it to be undervalued and got more
Oh,
room
wow.
for an increase. Yeah, so
That's
that's
interesting,
basically it.
considering the
Yeah,
stock is up 60% in the past 6 months,
that's
and yet it's
that's right.
undervalued.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's it. And
Okay.
also, yeah, I think it's done some good things with its product launches and various others. And I think its institutional investors' interests are also going higher. So that does actually then balance it up with a retail demand, retail investors. So you've got your retail investors, institutional investors, they are on the upside in terms of confidence as well. And then we've got all these analysts using different tools to calculate prices, and they all have given their analysis quite accurately, actually, for
Yeah.
the past years as well. So that's what investors and traders are actually, relying on as well. Quality information and predictions based on certain tools like they call it the PE ratio as well as the PEG ratio. It's the price to earning ratio as well as the price earning to growth ratio. These are the most popular tools that have actually
Hmm.
been used for stock prices of Dell, HP, and various other bigger stocks as well.
Moving on to the opposite end of the tech spectrum, you've got Hewlett
Okay.
Packard.
Yes.
So, back in 2021, to 2022, HP had a
Yeah.
bad year. They missed pretty
Mm.
much every one of their earnings, made a little bit of a
Yes.
comeback 2022. 2023, it's been a hit and a miss. And if you look at their numbers, I mean, you've
Mm.
got a situation where they're up 7% year to date, but down
Yeah.
pretty much the
Yes.
same for the past 6 months.
That's right.
So, what are your thoughts on HP?
Yes. It's very interesting with HP. I mean, you are right by saying that, with price have actually struggled a little bit. Its revenue basically fell by 6.5%.
Yeah,
That's basically a fall of by at least 13, 14 billion, almost 14 billion drop. But as of last week, if I'm not mistaken, CEO has made some very interesting revelation or positive news, and that has got to do with its PC recovery department or category, and
okay.
where AI is coming in. So the AI capabilities, I mean, they've invested a lot on its AI capabilities, and with the AI capabilities invested in there, he's very positive. Investors are getting quite positive in the PC recovery department. So I hope it would actually be bringing prices above its current price of $28, $29 at this moment of time. It's trading at that level at this moment. Mhm.
And finally, what's happening with Bitcoin? I mean, we've seen, it
Bitcoin.
hover around 36,000, $37,000. There was
Yeah.
talk of it pushing to 38,000. But,
Yes.
it's Bitcoin is kind of interesting because although there's a bit of a surge, you've
Mm.
got some big SEC scrutiny, what with
Yes,
the
exactly.
massive case coming up with Coinbase. I
That's it.
mean, its
That's it.
CEO is already, I think he's already
Sorry.
charged, and
Yes,
or in jail. There's also FTX and the fallout of that. So, what are your
you're
thoughts on
right.
Bitcoin at the moment?
Yes, this is a tricky one, but you are right by saying that it's got a lot to do with SEC's approvals on Bitcoin products in general. And you've got the institutional side of it, you've got ETF side of it on the Bitcoin. So you've got various markets that has got its own sort of agenda or being influenced differently by the big boys, as we say, and this
Yep.
comes to the SEC. At the moment, for BTC, there's a lot of gossip in the market of BTC's prices being overbought. And gossips usually they like to talk about buying the story or selling the gossip and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But at this moment of time, if I were to look at the windscreen, which is the chart on CMT's platform, I'm looking at prices trading at 37 440 at the moment, so 37,440, right? But what I'm looking at as well is still um, giving us a lot of higher highs and higher lows, which basically hinting us the probability of wanting to go higher in terms of prices. Um, there are definitely some areas to watch out for in terms of reversal, or areas that we need to look at look at it as resistance, and that area is at the 41,700 area. So that's the closest one that I can actually see when I'm looking at the charts at the moment. So that, in saying that, basically there is a bit of a room for a buy from now on until the 41,700 area. So it's definitely or entirely up to the traders and investors to look at where they would like to exit, whether earlier or at that price level or closer to that price level. So that is the gap that I could potentially see at the moment of where prices could actually reverse. So
Yeah.
there is a small gap of buy. The next gap of buy would actually be, if at all it were to go beyond the 41,700 or the 41,800 level, then there is a possibility of it reaching the 49.84 or 85 level as well. So this is where I have always said that it's probably best to take it in stages until prices reaches that point, and then to look at the market once more, sit back and watch what the investors and traders are doing, and then follow the trend. So and basically trading stages. That's for
Awesome.
Bitcoin. Yeah.
Awesome. I think on that note, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Kenny, for all your
Thank
awesome
you very
trading
much,
advice
Sergio.
and insights. Cool.
Brilliant.
I'll see
All
you
the
on the
very
next one,
best.
man. Awesome.
Happy pipping to all. Yeah.